Hello, friend, and thank you for watching my YouTube channel, Alpha Skytech. As always, I always bring you the greatest and the latest video. Today, I have a video about the Microsoft MD-102 exam training prep questions. So let's get to it. So first questions that I think it will be appropriate answer for it. So the question asks, you have Microsoft 365 subscriptions that includes Microsoft Intune. The subscriptions contains corporate-owned, fully managed Android enterprise devices. You plan to deploy configurations profile that will have a device restrictions profile tab named Profile 1. Profile 1 will assign maintenance windows for Windows for system updates. What should you configure for the configuration settings for the profile? My preference answers will be B in here, general. And we go on to the next questions, folks. You have Microsoft 365 subscriptions that include Microsoft Intune. You create a new Android app protection policy named Policy One that prevents screens capture in the old Microsoft app. You discover that in unmanaged email clients installed on Android devices can still capture screens. You need to ensure that the user can only use Microsoft's apps to access emails. So here my preferable choices will be A, create a conditional access policy, but kind of about 30% probability going with D, modify the assignments of policy one. But again, um, you have to set up access condition policy, I believe, first, and then go from there. But let me know in your comments what do you think, folks. But I would go with definitely A. Question number 3 says you have a Microsoft 365 E5 license subscriptions. All Windows devices are enrolled in Microsoft Intune. Okay, you need to create an app protection policy named Policy One and apply Policy One to the devices. What can you protect by using policy one? So in here, I would go Microsoft Edge in here D. If you have any other doubt or any other thoughts, let me know in the comments below, please. And next questions would be number 4. You have Microsoft 365 E5 subscriptions and you use Microsoft Intune manage all Windows 11 devices. You create an attack surface reductions ASR policy named policy profile one based on the attack surface reductions rules profile and assign profile one to all devices. A user reports that the Adobe Reader's plugins is now blocked. You need to ensure that the plugins in the is unlocked. What should you do? The answer is configure ASR. That's for sure. Only per rules exclusion in profile one, actually. So we go with C. If you have any other doubts or any other answers, let me know in the comments below, please. And next question is number 5. You have Microsoft 365 E5 subscription. All devices are enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You need to ensure the devices that have not checked in for 30 days are deleted from the Intune. What should you configure from Microsoft Intune Admin Center? That's for sure is device cleanup rules. That's, there is a rules in there. A device cleanup rules has to be set to have anything like not been checked within the 30 days will be deleted. So it's C, my friends. And here, next question is number 6. You have Microsoft 365 E5 subscriptions, and then it says you need to configure the automated investigations and response AIR. It's called AIR remediations level for devices named Device 1 to require approval for all folders. What should you create? So the answer is device group. Always focus in on this. When you have anything in Intune, you have to go. Everything is managed by group. It's much easier and more efficient actually. So it's B, device group. So next questions, we go to number 7. You have a Microsoft 365 subscriptions. Each user is assigned a Windows 365 Enterprise license. You need to deploy a cloud PC that will be Microsoft Entra Hybrid. This is Entra, of course, is the current name for Azure AD. Hybrid joins is mean the on-prem and an Azure. So what should you do first? Create an Azure Network Connection, ANC we call it, folks here, and it's an A. So it's an A. Create an Azure Network Connection, ANC. And next questions will be number 8. You have a Microsoft 365 subscription that uses Microsoft Intune suites. You use Intune to manage Windows 11 devices. You need to implement Windows Local Administrator Password Solution, Windows Labs, we call it. The abbreviations for that. What should you configure? Then an account protection policy, folks. That's what is exactly you need to have. An account protection policy. You need to be needs to be configured actually. So this one B. And number 9, and here you have a Microsoft 365 subscriptions that contains 500 computers that run Windows 11. The computers are Microsoft Entra joined and are enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You plan to manage Microsoft Defenders for endpoint on the computers. You need to prevent user from disabling Microsoft Defenders for endpoints. What should you do? So it will be B from Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create an antivirus policy. So there is an area in the Microsoft Intune Admin Center that you can set a policy in there that will prevent users from disabling Microsoft Defender endpoints. So the next question is number 10. You have Microsoft 365 subscription that include Microsoft Intune. You need to deploy a custom app to Android devices. You need to deploy a custom app in Microsoft. I should have done this. I think I have a video about this, but I'm not sure. The app uses APK file format. So which type of app should you select from the deployments? So in this case, line of business, LOBs, folks. And this is there is a Windows application that exe and that needs to be converted to that Win Intune. And but this is a line of business is going to be in the list. The APK is part of that line of business area actually, and I will have a video about that explaining that in details if I have a chance, and I will show you that. And next question is number 11. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscriptions. By the way, E5 is the highest licensing. You use Microsoft Intune to manage all devices. You need to prep a Win32 apps. That's what I was talking about. Named app1.exe from the deployment. What should you do? So change the app1.exe to that Intune Win format. That's what we are. And there is basically uh, during this process, when you do that, there is a link usually in there. It's going to direct you where you're going to download the converter, we call it. The converter from that exe or MSI to that Intune Win that format, Win Intune that Intune Win format actually. There's a converter actually which does that when you're at this location to do the change. So next questions, folks, you have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription that include Microsoft Intune. From Mac OS devices, you create an update policy named Policy 1. and that has following settings. All other updates, OS built-in apps, download and install, assignments, include groups, all devices. Which two um, types of updates can be downloaded and installed by using policy? Each correct answer. So for sure that's to be Mac OS. It's a mandatory, and then the built-in apps. These are the two. Again, folks, if you have any other doubts about this or otherwise different answers, let me know in your comments section below. Next question is number 13. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription that include Microsoft Intune and contain a user named admin1. Admin1 must use in Microsoft Intune Admin Center to perform the following tasks. Create and assign app and policy to users and devices by using Intune, and create and assign and delete Windows 365 Cloud PC provisioning policy. Um, you need to assign a required role to admin one. That's a big one. These are big roles, matter of fact. The solution must meet the following requirement. The requirement says the principle of least privileges. That will be taken a bit from him, and minimum administrative effort. So what are you going to create a custom Intune role and assign the? So we're not going to give him like a full-blown contributors. That's what we are. So we have to create a custom Intune role, assign the role admin role to the admin. So it'll be E. Again, folks, if you have otherwise different answers, let me know in the comment section, please. And the next question is number 14. You have a Microsoft 365 subscription that includes Microsoft Intune. The subscription contains Windows 11 devices enrolled in Intune. The subscription contains three groups named Department 1, Department 2, Department 3. You need to deploy Microsoft 365 apps to Windows 11 devices. The solutions must meet the following requirements. Okay, the requirements are, here you go. User in Department 1 and 2 must receive a full Microsoft 365 app suites, including Microsoft projects and Visio. And user in Department 3 must receive a full Microsoft 365 app suites, including Microsoft projects but without Visio. All other users must receive a full Microsoft 365 apps suites without Microsoft projects or Visio. So what minimum numbers says here? What minimum number of deployment you should create? That's a great question. So it'll be a three for each of these apps, folks. And that's what I believe, and that's what most likely be correct one, and it's going to be C. Three deployments you will need that separately. Next question will be 15. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription that uses Microsoft Intune. You configure Intune to send log data to Log Analytics. And you need to review events involving device that fails to enroll in Intune. What should you monitor? Of course, you monitor the operations log, which contains the appropriate logs for that. The operation logs is be A, folks, in here. Next question will be 16. You have a Microsoft 365 subscription that uses Microsoft Intune Suite. Um, Use Intune to manage devices. You need to review details about the device swipes initiated through Intune. Which report should you review? And it will be a device action. A device action, folks. It will be number letter D. Sorry, it will be letter D. And next questions will be 17. You have a Microsoft 365 subscription that uses Microsoft Intune Suite. You use Microsoft Intune to manage devices. You plan to deploy two apps named App 1 and App 2 to all Windows devices. App 1 must be installed before App 2. That's a condition. From the Intune Admin Center, you create an app deployment to Windows app, Win32 app. You need to ensure that App 1 is installed before App 2 on every device. What should you configure? So I would go the App 2 deployment configurations because that's what's going to be first. Some There is a probability of 30% folks could be C, the detection rules, but this is not, um, you're not creating a rules here for the deployments actually. So I would go preferably with D, the app 2 deployment detections, because you're focusing on app 2. The next questions will be number 18. You have a Microsoft 365 E5 subscription that contains 100 iOS devices enrolled in Microsoft Intune. You need to deploy custom line of business LOP, we call it, app to the devices by using Intune. Which extension should you select from that list? Drop down, folks. I remember this. I've done this before. It's IPA. It's .IPA extensions. Is a line of business you're gonna select for this is B. And next questions, folks, will be 19. You have a Microsoft 365 subscriptions. You have 10 computers that run Windows 10 and are enrolled in mobile devices management, MDM we call it. You need to deploy Microsoft 365 apps and for enterprise suites to all computers. What should you do? I would go with D from the Microsoft Intune Admin Center. Add an app. That's for sure. But there is a probability that I was skeptic sometimes because of the verbatims, the way it's been phrased, the question and the answer. May You may look for also from the Microsoft Intune Admin Center, create a Windows 10 profile. That's a 40% probably, but I'm going with definitely D. And number 20 in the line, folks, it says here you have a Microsoft 365 subscription that use Microsoft Intune. You use Microsoft Intune to manage devices. You have a Windows 11 device named Device 1 that is enrolled in Intune. Device 1 has been offline for 30 days. You need to remove device 1 from Intune immediately. The solutions must ensure that if the device checked in again, any apps and data provisioned by Intune are removed. User installed apps, personal data, and OEM installed apps must be retained. What should you do? Delete actions. That's what you're gonna have. And there's a 25 probability retired, but that's I don't go that way. I would go with A, delete action, folks. So folks, all that's what I have for you for this Microsoft MD 102 exam training preps questions. Let me know on your comments if any questions have a different answer for it. And again, I want to thank you for watching my YouTube channels, Alpha Skytech, and as always, I thank you for your likes and subscribes, please. And and wish you a great and wonderful day. Thank you.